Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We have an update with Sierra Madre Gold and Silver today. The company trades on the TSX Venture under the ticker SM. We're looking forward to getting an update today. Last time we had an update from them was in late March 2023. Joining us today, we have Greg Liller, COO, and Alex Langer, CEO. This presentation will contain forward-looking statements. You can find those on the presentation that's available up on the company's website. And if you have any questions, please input those into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Good to see both of you again. It's been a while since we got an update, and a lot has happened since then.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be back. It took a little while to get trading, but as most people know, we started trading last week, and yeah, we're excited. But we have been busy and active at site. We've kind of been at site since early January, and Greg and his team have been busy working away. I know Greg just got back late last night.
Awesome. Thank you. So kind of picking up where we left off, since your last webinar, you closed the acquisition, you closed a $10 million private placement, and you started trading on the TSX Venture, or restarted. What has been happening on the ground at La Guitarra?
We've been busy on multiple fronts. We've undertaken a database validation on all the drill holes. We've been entering a lot of the channel sampling that was conducted during mining operations. The Eastern District, we've continued with our detailed mapping program. The mine restart, we've now hired 3 mechanics who happen to be the mechanics that were in charge of maintaining the equipment when the mine shut down. We're in the process then of rebuilding several scoops. We're putting the jumbo drills back together. We've just recently found a core rig on site, so we're evaluating that, and we may be able to start some core drilling on our own before long as part of the resource study. We'll be undertaking a channel sampling program. We're purchasing a portable electric rock saw and genset to conduct some detailed channel sampling in the areas that we need some additional information for the resource work. So we've got a lot going on inside.
Awesome. Thank you. So can you tell us a little bit about the major items that need to get done to get to a restart, and what would that look like? Is it mining that starts up first? Is it milling that starts up first?
No, from the technical end, all this data validation is going to go into a 43101 resource estimation. And we're hoping to complete that in 6 months or so. Once that's completed, we'll use the resource estimation to develop a mine plan, detailed 2-year mine plan, and hopefully a life of mine plan based on the resources that we'll delineate with the first study. And then from there, we'll be able to plug that into a PEA/feasibility study. This is kind of a unique project. The mine and mill are ready to go. We've got the equipment needed to get started. We're rehabbing and rebuilding that now. We've got all the cost data from multiple years of operations right up until it was put on care and maintenance by First Majestic in 2018. We'll have to update that with current consumable prices and diesel price, current electric prices. But basically, we got a lot more detailed information than goes into almost any other feasibility study that you see around these days, because we've got hard data. We know what it costs. We know what the recovery factors are. We're not doing a guesstimate as far as the cost. We know. So that'll be completed. And at the same time, we're rebuilding the mining equipment. We're rehabbing the mill. We're looking at changing the configuration of the flotation circuit so that we can get less concentrate volume, but at the same recoveries that the old circuit was doing. That it just involves taking it from a parallel configuration now to running it in a series where we'll have a rougher, cleaner scavenger type situation. But all that, I think, can be completed within the next year. We're shooting for production in a year to 18 months now. So it's just a lot's come to light on site that's enabled us to really get this thing fast tracked towards production.
Yeah, I think the price of silver is also quite helpful. I know just over a year ago, silver price was getting down around $18, and today, I think this morning, was just over 24. So really puts an impetus on us trying to get to cash flows as soon as possible. And there's really not very many opportunities out there like this. So with today's silver price and all the great things we're finding at site, it's really kind of driving us to get towards production here.
And I should state that based on what we know now, even at $18, we'd still be turning a nice little profit. So it's very exciting times for us.
For sure. Thank you. And so touching on the report, you've mentioned before that there is high-grade material, bulk tonnage. Will both of those be in the resource report and mine plan?
Oh, definitely. What we're planning on doing is reopening the Guitarra mine complex first. And that will be through a combination of high-grade material that was in production, same stopes that were in production when the mine was put on care and maintenance. And we'll develop the infrastructure that we need to put the bulk tonnage portion into production. And that really, the bulk tonnage is kind of based on some work I did with Genco. We completed a feasibility study involving 4 open pits on the Guitarra vein system. And somewhere along the line, that bulk tonnage concept was kind of forgotten about. And so we've gone back in and looked at it, and there's 2 of the pits have a very nice, cohesive, high-grade ore chute. It's quite large, and that should stand up well for bulk mining. And actually, in looking at it, the open pits were an 8-to-1 strip ratio, which means you'd have to move 9 tons of rock just to get 1 in the mill. Current open pit prices, I think, are realistically on the order of $2.50 to $3 a ton. I just don't believe you can get it done for much less than that. But if it's, let's just say it's $3 a ton, 9 tons you have to move, that's $27. And the mining engineers we've been talking with feel that we can get that done for significantly less with a long hole stoping type mining. And you look at all the other mines that are employing long hole mining, and it is significantly less direct mining costs, and that $27 would be, they went with the open pit. But then the idea is to get Guitarra up and running, and then bring the Colosso and Nazareno mines back into production. Again, they were in care and maintenance. We can pick up on the stopes that were being mined when the care and maintenance phase hit. And there's also pretty good development over there on additional new stopes. So the restarts, basically, we're going to pick up where First Majestic left off with the addition of the bulk tonnage mill feed.
And Alex touched on metal prices. So especially for this bulk tonnage, would you look at changing the metal prices compared to what was used before when they were looking at an open pit scenario?
Oh yeah, you can go for a lot lower grade using this bulk tonnage. That said, I mean, what we're out to do is make a profit, as opposed to just making ounces of silver. And that seems to be what a lot of companies like to do. But no, we're out to make a profit. So it's really going to boil down to mining costs, processing costs, and then the associated development costs that go with it.
And then question about tailings. So there is tailings material close to the mill. What permits, equipment, studies would need to be done to kind of advance this a little bit further towards potential production?
We'll need to get a leaching permit, a cyanide leaching permit. We're putting the bits and pieces together right now for applying for that. That'll take a little while, at least a year, not 2 years. But once we have that in hand, we'll convert the plant to cyanide leaching, possibly keeping the flotation circuit. We're looking at that right now. If we can keep the flotation circuit and then just leach the tailings, or not the tailings, but the tail of the flotation cons, and then do an intensive leach on the flotation cons, we might be able to reduce the amount of tankage that's involved in the whole thing. But once we have that in hand, we got 2.5 million tons of gold tailings materials that grades half gram gold and over an ounce of silver per ton. Metallurgy that's been done on it to date indicates at least 80% gold recovery and 70% silver recovery. We've got a new met testing program put together, and we're putting the composites together for that now to see if we can get some enhanced recoveries on that. But the cyanide leaching work that I did when I was with Genco there indicated that the whole ore, we can expect to see around 92% silver recovery and 90% gold. So I'd like to kind of see if we can get something like that with tailings. But tailings are cheap. It's already been mined. It's already been ground up. That's the major cost in processing. And it's just sand. It doesn't cost that much to move. So that's an additional resource that we'll have. And if you put all these things together, the idea is to get the mine up and running as is now at 300 tons a day, bring it up to 500 tons a day. Then hopefully we'll get this cyanide permit in place and then expand out to 750 to 1,000 tons a day, maybe up to 1,500 tons a day in the long term. So it's a bit of a work in progress, but all the bits and pieces are there. The data indicates that it can be done. So it's aggressive, but there aren't many projects like this that come fully developed with a mill and a mine already in place. So the hard work's all been done by other people.
Awesome. So touching on the cyanide permit, so previously, La Guitarra produced concentrates that were sold. So what are Sierra Madre's plans on this front, and how would a potential cyanide permit change this?
A lot of people have come knocking on the door to get the flotation concentrates. And there's a lot of people that are in that concentrate business. And this always produced a high grade one. With Genco, we actually shipped it to another mine in Mexico, the concentrates, and they leached it there. That had been the same system that Lewisman had before Genco. That's how Genco got the mine, was buying it from Lewisman. But the recoveries there, again, were in the 90% for silver and a little bit better than that for the gold. So we can either sell it to a smelter, sell the concentrate to a trading house that's in that business, or find a mine that has a leaching circuit that would want to take it on. And then the whole time would be moving towards a cyanide permit ourselves. And at that point, you produce a doré product, which has very little refining costs attached to it. You just sell that again to a doré refiner.
Do you know how long it takes or what the process is to get a cyanide permit in that?
Like I said, it'll take around a year, 2 years. Some of that's application permit preparation time. and then it's all in the regulators' hands. We've already been talking with the state government. They're really looking forward to getting this thing up and running again, as are the local municipal governments. Everybody wants to see this thing go. And with a cyanide leaching permit, it means a lot more tax revenue for both the federal and state governments too, because it increases your profitability.
Yeah, it reduces cost by almost 20%. Also increases production by about close to 20%. So it is significant all the way around.
And touching on exploration. So do you expect to start drilling at La Guitarra this year? Or would you kind of wait to hold off a little bit? What are kind of your plans on that front?
Well, we just raised $10 million, and we're going to use that money to place the mine into production. Right now, it looks like we won't need any additional funds. That's right now. But we want to focus on getting this thing into production. And then from there, we'll be able to finance exploration with our cash flow. Now, in the meantime, we've got the Eastern District mapping program underway. We'll come back once we nail down some targets, do some detailed surface sampling. We're going to get in the old mines that were in production 100 years ago. A lot of those are still open. So we'll continue with that, defining our drill targets so that we're ready to go once we have the mine into production. But the prize over there is, like, there was one mine, the Rincon, back between 1911 and 1934. It was produced about 100 tons a day, but the average grade was 6.6 grams gold and well over 800 grams silver. So that's kind of the prize we'll be looking for over there.
That's exciting. And now switching gears a little bit to Tepic and La Tigra. There's lots of activity planned for La Guitarra. So are you planning any work at these two projects this year?
Well, we still have some drilling results to release for both projects. Tepic will be getting a resource study done on it, resource estimation. And that'll come after the Guitarra resource study report is done. And then we're evaluating La Tigra right now. And again, we'll be releasing some drilling results from both of those projects shortly. But mostly it'll be desktop studies.
La Guitarra is the absolute focus. Again, we have to be mindful of the amount of cash we do have. And if we had more, obviously we'd be exploring both of those projects kind of at the same time. But I think the opportunity we have, again, with the silver price and the state of the mine and operations at La Guitarra, 90% of our focus, at least for the end of the calendar year, will definitely be focused on La Guitarra.
And so this may be a good time to give us like an expected news flow for the rest of the year from La Guitarra and any of the other projects.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be busy for sure. As Greg kind of walked us through it. Some of the news flows we will be announcing as equipment comes in and becomes online. I think that'll be interesting to the market, knowing that the mill is getting its upgrades, that's ready to start production. We'll also have the resource report, which I think will be quite exciting for the market. It's going to really underpin the value of what we have in the ground. And this is without doing any additional drilling. We'll be auditing the underground. We'll be combining all the known databases of close to 300,000 meters of drilling, which is going to make up that upcoming resource. So that really, truly is a major catalyst for us, and it's quite exciting. And then shortly after that will be the PEA and mine plan. And then from there, there'll be other interesting bits of news that we'll definitely be sharing as things progress. So we're going to be active. We're going to start to, head to some conferences and things like that. And again, tell the story and get everyone pretty excited. So when they think of silver and they think of what stocks invest in, it has, pretty decent potential. It's going to be Sierra Madre for sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Is there anything, Alex or Greg, that you wanted to touch on today that we haven't mentioned yet?
Oh, I think that's probably about it. No, thanks again, everyone, for the patience. I know it took a long time. We have lost our OTCQX symbol, but we're already reapplied for that. So that should be up and running in the next couple months. Other than that, everything is good. We're tremendously excited. As Greg mentioned, we're busy at site. We're going to be continuing to just push forward. It is a pretty special opportunity for a company like us to acquire a mine like La Guitarra, and we're going to take full advantage.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Greg. If anybody has any questions that did not get answered today, please email either myself, Magda, or Deborah at adcamp.ca, and we will work to get those answered. Thank you for joining us, and have a good afternoon and rest of your day, everyone. All right.
Thank you.
I know. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.